Hello, my KTVB Tegna family. I am Melissa Paul, and I am with Tegna here in Sacramento, KXTV. For those of you who don't know me, I actually come from Boise. I worked at a competitor station as a morning news anchor meteorologist, but we won't talk about that time. Right now, though, we work in the same family, and I'm very excited because I understand that you may be doing self-run prompters, which I personally am a fan of. I've grown to be a fan. I didn't use a self-run prompter until I came here to KXTV. And here at KXTV, I've had the opportunity to use the prompter as a news anchor, as a meteorologist, and now as a talk show host. So in 3 different applications, and in all 3, I think it is a fantastic invention. So let me go ahead and show you the self-run prompter, what it looks like. Here at the station, we use a foot pedal. And I know that there are also kind of joysticks, there's handheld operators, but this is simply like a kind of a pedal in your car. So the concept is the harder you push, the faster the prompter is going to roll. If you need to rewind your prompter, you can actually rewind it yourself in the middle of your read if you need to. You simply push this red button right here, pops it back, you push it again, and then it backs up. So pretty self-explanatory. Not rocket science, very simple stuff. And let's go ahead and show the prompter itself. So right now I have it in rewind mode because the arrow is facing the other direction. And if I go ahead and push that red button, the arrow pops forward, which shows it's going to move forward. And then I just push it, and there it continues to scroll. I know as talent, it can be pretty unsettling thinking about having to operate your own prompter. But in reality, it's actually a massive benefit. And here's why, because you don't have to count on somebody else's timing and speed in which they're gonna roll your story. You actually have full control over your delivery, and it allows you to play with the script more if you need to. So in a breaking situation, it's extremely beneficial, especially if your producer's in your ear telling you to fill. You can simply stop rolling and you can fill and pick up when you're cued to pick up as needed. It's also extremely beneficial as well when it comes to needing to get through a script fast. You can paraphrase as appropriate as needed for that situation and get through that script and not have to worry about somebody else actually paying attention, keeping up with your ad-libbing or keeping up with your paraphrasing of a script. It's the opportunity you have with running your own prompter is extremely freeing. Now I know there are some situations where you may be like, well, what if you're not able to access the scroller yourself? So we are in Studio B here, which is the talk show that I do here at KXTV. We have multiple sets. We have about 4 or 5 different sets in this studio. So this main set is where I run the prompter from. But if I get up and I walk over to the kitchen or to the demo or to the wall, I have to rely on the producer to roll my script at that point. And it's a nice, easy lift. It's not too taxing. When there are times, though, when things are happening in master control, I simply will take my script with me. I'll do a little bit of reading and ad-libbing until the producer can get to the prompter and then catch up to where I am at in the conversation on camera. It takes a little bit of orchestrating. It takes a lot of communicating, but that all in itself, in my opinion, is a great benefit to your show because then you're all on the same page and you're all equally committed to what's happening on camera, and it keeps everybody on the same page. So I personally, as mentioned, am a really big fan of this. So this is the talk show application, but let me show you the newsroom application of a self-run prompter. So now we're gonna head on over to Studio A real quick. Hi again. Okay, so we're here in Studio A. This is our news studio, and obviously we have a multi-anchor newscast. And the benefit of that when you have self-run prompter is that you both can kind of get each other's backs as needed. So in this type of setting, I think producer involvement with helping to run the prompter is much less, because if one anchor has to get off the desk and possibly go to another set, like our 5 screen over here that does not have a pedal associated with it, the other anchor can help run at times. There's a lot more options for orchestrating, making sure that somebody's on prompter each time. But just as in the other studio, once again, simple pedal. You're gonna be operating this forward. You can hit the button again to reverse it. Just a lot of nice options, and as mentioned too, here in news, very helpful when it comes to breaking news and allowing an opportunity for kind of open conversation and flow, because then the anchors can stop down if they want to converse with the weather center, they want to converse with somebody else in studio, and just pick up right back where they need to from a cue from a producer without having to rely on somebody else, and making sure that they are paying attention to what's happening with the conversation during the show and on camera. When tossing to a meteorologist, perhaps the meteorologist maybe has a read before they have to go into weather. So say, for instance, someone's over here in the weather center, meteorologists may be covering the heat wave that's happening right now on the East Coast. They want to read that VO, then come out to like a thermal gradient map or something. Our weather center actually was equipped with a pedal at one point, where as a meteorologist you could operate that, just go right into your weather, walk over to the wall, and then come back to the weather center to finish your read. Now one of the anchors steps in and does the scroll for them. So as mentioned, there's just a lot of options to really make doing your own prompter very beneficial and work for the entire team. So as mentioned, I'm a big fan of the self-run prompter. I think there are a lot of ways for you to gain control of your delivery, of your storytelling, and it allows for a lot more freedom and play amongst not only a solo anchor in a talk show or between a team in a multi-anchor show, but it also allows a lot more freedom too when it comes to producing and play, because then you take that middle person out of the mix, making sure that they're paying attention and following along. It just gives a lot more freedom and a lot more fun. So I hope you enjoy it.